So now is actually, I think, one of the more fun conversations out of this series that we're doing on this joint relationship between MapR and LucidWorks. And it actually, in some regards, is looking into the future a bit here. We're really looking at, maybe not the future for everybody, but trying to bring that message to more people. And it really starts to think about how search has evolved, or even how there's been a revolution going on in search. And what we've been seeing in our customer base across both MapR and LucidWorks is really this kind of, it feels like science fiction for an old-time search guy like me who's been doing this for a lot of years, who got started by just typing in keywords into a search box and did kind of that straightforward Boolean matching, if you will. It really is looking at how we can use the algorithms and data structures of search to take data access to the next level. And so, Ted, perhaps you'd like to enlighten us a bit more with some of that science fiction turning into science fact.
Yeah, there you go. I'm the science fiction guy. There's two phrases that really come to mind. Both of them, I have to say, due to my wife. And one of them is remembering the future. How the future has a past. That is, what we thought was the future isn't what's coming up. And it certainly isn't even the present. The future of the past is the present, and it's different than we expected. I can do tongue twisters all day long. But the future of now is also very different than we expected. There's all kinds of things that are coming up. And the other phrase that she came up with is talking about reflected intelligence, where somebody over here does something very, very clever. Our system observes that, and somebody over here does the first half of a clever thing, and we suggest the second half, and they think we're just really clever guys. Now, we are, but this allows our systems to do the same sort of thing. And the key technology there was developed, well, the beginnings of it was developed 30 years ago. And the smart system and this whole idea of vector retrieval can actually be extended to make these systems that emulate intelligent behavior. And that's where I see this revolution happening, where queries are behaviors, where documents are encapsulated events, and we find these things by searching with behaviors. That there's a famous sort of quote where one of the founders of Sun asked what was the future of computing, and he says, oh, the future, we're going to reach into the computer and we're going to manipulate these purple globes. Man, we're there. We're there. This is beginning to really happen. So it's exciting. It's just so exciting.
Yeah, I definitely would agree. I mean, I think one of the interesting things, not only just to build on how search can enable that, but really when you start to look at the combination of big data capabilities, the deep insight you get from big data analytics, from large-scale machine learning like what you get with Mahout, being able to combine all of these things, I like to think and really bring this home for our community and our users in the way of thinking about search as essentially providing always this best known state of the system, right? Mm-hmm. If you think about what Google's doing, right, for instance, or any other large search provider, they're going off and they're crawling the web, and whatever snapshot they take in time of that web, you as an end user don't know about that. But so when you come in and search, you're getting the best known state of the web as far as that system knows it. But then in the background, and this is really where I think Hadoop and MapReduce and all that was pioneered, you're working like crazy to make sure that you're improving that best known state of the system. And one of the other things I think that slices in well here when you start to combine search, machine learning, deep analytics, et cetera, is that you have a much richer view of that data. You, of course, want to provide that good keyword matching, et cetera, that search has been known for, kind of science past, if you will. But then you want to bring in the machine learning, the analytics, to constantly be enriching that. And it's not just about having a deeper understanding of the content itself, it's also having a deeper understanding of what users are doing with that content. And that's really, I think, what reflected intelligence means to me is how can I learn from all of those behaviors and then reflect it back up to new users, and search is often one of the key ways of doing that.
And it's a little odd. I've got a PhD. It was a lot of work to get it. Hard work, and it was years ago, so it doesn't even necessarily apply to the present world. But what I see is really, really exciting is that people can apply these amazing technologies without years and years of academic study. As data gets bigger, it's getting easier and easier to apply.
That's right, Ted. I mean, I think so. For instance, one of our goals with LucidWorks Big Data is to do exactly that. We take and give you all the capabilities of MapR underneath the hood. We then build on top of it out-of-the-box workflows for bringing, of course, your data into the system, but also then doing machine learning out of the box, being able to easily deploy and manage your classification models, for instance, being able to do clustering, and then at the back end, being able to run the log analysis all in one platform such that you can see what people are clicking on, what are they sharing, how are they interacting with that data so that you can drive, for instance, again, through a single platform, recommendations, content recommendations or collaborative filtering based recommendations. And then last but not least, we put an API on top of all of that. So as a developer, integrating this into your next generation data-driven application, you have the ability to interact with a single system. You don't have to go figure out how all of these parts work together. And to me, that's really bringing the science fiction into science fact.
So the system's going to measure itself. It's going to improve based on those measurements, and it's going to get better and better, literally because the users are so clever about what they need to know.
That's exactly right. I think that's really the goal of this kind of system is you want to be able to learn from your users. In fact, they're the ones with the intelligence, right? Because they're the ones you're trying to deliver the access of the content to. So why not leverage their brains instead of you having to figure out all of it yourself?
That's going to be quite something.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting for a lot of people because it really is the evolution, not just the evolution, but really the revolution of data access.
Up against the wall data.